It's the cost of doing bugger all. The battle lines are already drawn for the election. The Coalition's media, Nine Network, and Murdoch's News Corporation, quick out of the blocks to bag Jim Chalmers and Anthony Albanese's Future Made in Australia Act. Hear it, because you're going to be hearing a lot about the Future Made in Australia Act. What is it? Well, it's the grand plan to make a buck out of the next boom, the next minerals boom, by actually making more stuff here in Australia, to value add, to manufacture, to create more jobs, rather than just exporting stuff offshore. We've had the coal boom, we've had the gas boom, the iron ore boom. A lot of it goes to China. There was the wool boom back in the day, the lamb boom. Large part of Australia's economy is growing stuff and digging stuff out of the ground and exporting it. Gas, coal, iron ore, agriculture, little or no value add. So the winners, take gas for example, the biggest winners are multinational corporations, types like Exxon, Chevron, Shell, etc., that pay very little tax, if any at all, income tax in Australia. And the Future Made in Australia Act is the grand vision to manufacture, to value add for export. It makes sense. Yes, there is enormous risk in governments taking big bets on private investment and subsidies. Huge subsidies it will entail, for sure. But the risk is all in the execution. They could balls it up, but they could get it right, or anything in between. But think about this. The deflation in the cost of renewable energy has outstripped anybody's expectations. The falling prices for solar and wind power and improvements in battery technology, it has been extraordinary. Renewable energy and the net zero economy are inevitable and a good thing. It will mean lower energy bills for everybody, lower costs and prices for everybody, which would be good because inflation's hitting hard now as batteries become far more efficient. It's already happening, with energy bills about to drop from July. So when Anthony Albanese and Jim Chalmers unveiled their most substantial policy yet last week, the Future Made in Australia Act, the Coalition and its fossil media duopoly fanboys shot it down from day one. This will run until the election. We will hear the tired old line about governments need to step aside and let markets do their thing. The tired old line about governments picking winners. The tired old neoliberal lines. But it's a bet that governments cannot afford not to make. Excuse the double negative. The line about governments not being able to pick winners is nonsense. Look at Temasek, the state corporation in Singapore, the biggest investor in the Singapore economy and elsewhere. Look at what Norway's done with fossil fuels and sovereign wealth fund management. Yes, $1.5 million for every family in the country of Norway. Look at Qatar with gas instead of Australia, the huge boon for the people of Qatar, rather than a boon for multinational exporters. Look at Australia's own CEFC, the Clean Energy Finance Corporation. Yes, it has been profitable in crowding in private capital with renewable energy projects. It's a winner. It has made money for the government. The hypocrisy is writ large. Governments already subsidise fossil fuels to the tune of $12 billion a year, the diesel fuel rebate. But then there's the Darwin $2 to $3 billion subsidy for the Petroport in Darwin, the middle arm. Look at the Kurri Kurri power station in the Hunter Valley. Look at all the CCS subsidies, that's carbon capture and storage, which doesn't even work. Look at the bailout of Origin Energy's Eraring coal plant by Chris Minns, the New South Wales Premier. We're paying for that now. We gave them the profits, now we're socialising the losses of Australia's biggest coal plant. And the foreign multinationals pay little, if any, tax. Look at the job seeker corporate subsidies, $40 billion wasted to companies that didn't need it. This is about whinging for corporate greed and political points by fossil media and their acolytes, and a coalition whose only answer is subsidising, yes, subsidising a massive nuclear energy program because private capital won't go near it. Too expensive, takes too long to build. There's a problem with disposing of the waste. That's their idea, but it's unformed. It's just politics and talking points. Look at Rex. Look at Rex Patrick's latest stuff on our website about the politics. Then there's the foreign competition. There's Joe Biden's $1 trillion Inflation Reduction Act in the US, which is a subsidy for new energy in the new economy. The horse and buggy brigade will just have us funding, trundling along in 20th century fashion, doing nothing but privatisations and neoliberal economics. It is not the way to go. Doing nothing is not an option. Yes, it is a risk to walk out your front door in the morning. Everything is about risk, but there will be a lot of naysaying. That is the politics of it. At least the Labor Party, we've got to see the detail yet, but at least they are doing something. This is the number one espoused reform with vision. So let's not bag it, because it's better to do something than to do nothing. Like, share, or comment in the space below.